Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Let me just first start by saying happy birthday to my best friend since high school, Kevin Roll. Today is his birthday, so he reminded me last night to make sure I give him a shout out. He's probably not even up, not even on, so I'll clip this and send it to him. But I want to say happy birthday to Kevin Roll. Do me a favor, hit the share button and invite folks in this morning. We have a young man, a brother that's going to come in and has a unique academic background and experience. He's a frat, and we might tap a little bit into the importance of HBCU and civic engagement. We'll frame it like that because it's a bipartisan. They are a bipartisan group that just wants people to vote. But anyway, not to get too much into that, but we are going to talk today with the good brother. I've been sharing this, Terry Hawkins, and sharing that he does a lot. He's the co-founder, the CFO and COO of Dreamsmart Behavioral Health Solutions. So we're going to get ready to bring him in and chat with him really about a variety of things, his journey, and also different perspectives and views and lenses in which we should view life toward healing. And, you know, that's something that we talk about and curate and foster in this space. And so without further ado, I want to bring Terry Hawkins in to speak with us this morning. Brother Hawkins, it is good to have you in the Java Cafe this morning. Now, what's that background? It looks kind of, is that Harvard?
That's Howard University. The
Howard.
Mecca
Okay.
Education. Yes, sir.
Look, they call that the Black Harvard.
Absolutely.
Shout out to that HBCU. Welcome to the Java Cafe. I'm glad to have you here this morning, brother. And so first thing right off the bat, you kind of remind me of me when I started out, that you're doing everything. I said, I saw CEO, CFO, COO, you're just doing it. And so I am definitely honored to have you here. And so say good morning to the folks, greet them. And we're going to jump into, I'm looking, at your bio and some things that you've done, and you got a very interesting journey. And so greet the folks and say good morning, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on your show, and I want to just say good morning to everyone. We're just going to have a conversation today about sharing some different perspectives on life and how do we heal and how do we move forward and how we frame the conversation today. Hopefully, you'll take away some nuggets that we can engage on the different levels and different perspectives.
Absolutely. And so, you talk about different lenses in which to view toward going, toward healing. You have those lenses based on your journey, the path that you've taken in life. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what your background is, and how you got in this space of, you're doing real estate, you're a businessman, you're a frat, and you're now in this thing toward, healing and being a Black man. We definitely need to focus on our healing. And so tell us who Terry is and what or how did the journey form to get you to the point to where we are here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for that introduction. Hey, so my journey started as, like any typical young male in life seeking his path. I grew up in the DMV area, Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And I remember being a little kid going past Howard University. And I would always say, I'm going to that school. And nothing stopped me. I worked my way through Howard. My best friend's dad actually had a construction company. So I poured concrete on during the summers to help pay my tuition, supplement my tuition. But I always kept in the back of my mind, when I get through Howard, I need to reach back and I need to make sure that everybody coming through these doors, every young male, every young black male and female coming through these doors, I'm gonna do my part, um, whatever I can to help them change their perspective. For one, for who they are. For two, and that they can achieve whatever it is that they seek to do. You just have to put forth effort and you have to change your mindset, because throughout life we've been told you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you can't do this, you're not smart enough. So by changing our mindset, we're able to do those things, and which led me to finishing Howard, being in the world of architecture. I found my passion in project management, real estate development, lived there for almost 30 years. I was introduced to this group called a Dreamsmart Behavioral Solutions, and I know everybody on the call has heard of the Berkman and the DISC, their personality test, and they tell you, oh, you're this kind of a leader. Well, this organization is so unique. Now I want to we are the only black owned company in the nation, in the world. Then we take your profile and we give you a BSP, a behavioral superpower. I'm an initiator. There are 10. You have an influencer, you have an initiator, you have reflective thing. I'm an initiator. I'm pioneering and I'm cautious. What that means is I'm gonna take the initiative. That's what I do. I'm gonna take the initiative. I'm gonna find ways to make things happen. Now, being pioneering, and I'll get to that in a minute. Being pioneering, it means you're going to be thinking of ways to, how do we get this out? How do we get this to certain groups who have never heard of this? The cautious thing about it, because I work in money and I balance project budget,
Yeah.
I'm very cautious when I move.
Hmm.
It's not that I don't know, but I want to make sure I have everything aligned when I move. Now, the pioneering thing, and so back when I was living in Texas, this we took this message and we took this form to the Harris County Juvenile Probation Office. They've never heard of this before. We started working with adjudicated youth. Their next step was prison. We've turned some of those black males, black and brown males' lives around because we gave them a forum, we gave them a platform, we gave them a voice.
How is it that you take this? Because the correlation between, and there's a good brother you need to check out up here, Alex Edwards, and a lot that's in that circle with Thumbprint Realty. There he has this thing called mortgage before marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of remind me of him in this thing with that, and we're going to, I'll allow you to do the correlation. That's all I'm asking here. That real estate place, that experience, and moving it to, how are you correlating the healing in such an industry? That is very interesting. You talked about the caution of the money,
Mm-hmm.
and that. So tell us how the behavioral Dreamsmart. I'm intrigued.
Let me make the connection for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when we talk about so let's go back to the real estate. So when you talk about real estate, and when you talk about now, I want everybody to just frame this. Compensation means, what's my payoff?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Compensation is my payoff in a real estate deal, in architecture, in construction.
Okay.
Now, within compensation, you have there's a value.
I think I know where you're about to go, but
there's a value, there's a risk, and then there's an effort, right?
Okay. Yes.
My value is, what do I bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
The risk is, if I'm taking on what are the risks associated with that real estate deal? How am I calculating my risk? What's my ROI, right? And then the effort, I have to put in the effort. I have to do my homework. I have to do my background. Same thing we have to do in life. We have to evaluate ourselves. Our payoff is what? Getting a master's, pursuing certain things that we want. The value is, what value will that add to my life? What value does the BSP assessment add to my life? Right? When you talk about doing your BSP and understanding who you are, this is science based for over 100 years, and it's a 91% accuracy rate. If you take the BSP and you take it again, you're going to find out that you're the same reflective thinker, you're the same influencer, you're the same community builder, because you can't trick you can't trick the exam. So no matter how, so yeah, and so the risk is, what if I don't do this in my life? If I don't change my mindset, what are those risks? So when you take compensation, my payoff,
Yep.
my value, my risk, and my effort, those things you can apply to anything in life. When you look at it from a real estate aspect, from a personal life aspect. So that's how I bring it all together, and that's how I bridge it together in any transaction, whether it's business, personal. You know, what's the risk, what's the effort, and what's the value?
When you talk about the point of personally bringing it together, now let's be real, and I'm setting a stage here. Real estate, and most folks outside of Alex, you and some others, not slighting the industry or anything, but what made you as Terry focus on that? I may have heard some reference, maybe not verbatim, of sort of give back. You talked about when people come into Howard, you wanted to make sure that they have that back. What is the passion point for you that you're taking this success, your experience and knowledge? Why are you passionate about applying it to others in this healing space? And then we're going to get into sort of the healing and how you found healing in that. But it always intrigues me when folks that are in lucrative, lucrative corporate spaces that, you know, if they focus solely on that, they're good. And a lot of times we find folks coming in this space that they're doing this, but there's something in them that this isn't enough. What is your not enough that you're taking this experience and your success and applying it to healing, specifically, if I hear you right, for young Black and brown men? What is your why with this?
My why with that is because, again, let's go back to how I frame, and you framed it very well. You know, the lens of life is variable. There are variable aspects to perspectives, and how we view life and how we see life forms our perspective. If all you do is get up and go to work and make money, and you don't pour it back into your community, what good have you done? And for me, I've always had mentors from high school. I can think of mentors who mentored me, man, from high school through college, even now as a man in the world, you know, dealing with adversity. I have a brain trust that men that I go to.
Yes, sir.
And I pour out to them, hey man, look, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm dealing with. That is the only way we can, and that's part of the healing journey, because in order to heal, you have to be vulnerable.
I was just getting ready to say that there's a trust factor there.
You read my money.
You know, we tend, and I need to stop making these general statements. In my experience, in me and some brothers around me, we tend not to open up and be vulnerable or take that risk. Oh, that was good. Take that risk of trusting.
Right. But what did I say earlier? It's the compensation is I'm going to heal. That's my payoff, right? And then the value, the risk, and then the effort. I got to put forth effort. That effort means I need to be vulnerable, and I need to open up to the right people. You can't open up to everybody.
So that I wanted to go there for a second, because it's real that asking for help and being vulnerable and while I want to balance not making a general statement about all Black and brown men and young men, a majority, a good portion of us, we have had life experience largely influenced by the system, largely not knowing our value and who we are and our history. So and it comes back to that word trust and vulnerability. What is it that and I find myself, I asked Cameron this yesterday.
Yeah.
I asked the brother this last week. For brothers that may tune in and see this, how do they, one, recognize their value when often in media, in general, sort of either sometimes it starts as family where mom may say or whatever, you're just like your father. And then next week you hear her talking to the aunties about he's no good, he's da-da-da-da.
Yep.
And then you see media, how you're portrayed. So how do folks get on a road or a journey to recognize their value? I really want to spend a little bit of time. We're going to take a break in a few minutes to talk about the risk, because I think we do well at weighing the risk. We'll get in the sunken place of the risk, not recognize the value, and then we're not lined up for the compensation.
There you go, man. That's it.
So how do we get brothers to start recognizing their value when often
we have to take it now at Dreamsmart Behavioral Solutions. We have this term. My founder, who's a good brother friend of mine, Jeff Morris, we've been best friends since the 5th grade. Let that sink in. Since 5th grade.
Long-term lasting relationships. But go ahead. Yep.
High trust. We coin the term high trust relationships. What does that mean? I'm gonna kind of lay the platform. High trust relationships. Being honest. That honesty starts with self. Okay. Being transparent. That transparency starts with self. Being accountable. That accountability starts with self. Okay. Now, when you talk about being knowledgeable, that being knowledge of self, that is recognizing your strengths and your struggles. We don't use the word weaknesses because weaknesses have a negative kind of play. But we say we all have struggles. We all have vices. Now, we also recognize that a strength that's overplayed becomes a weakness. If I'm someone who's strong and I never give other people the opportunity, that now becomes a weakness in my team because I'm not allowing everyone else's voice to be heard, right?
Yeah, and also if I could go a little bit, you keep unwarranted and unnecessary when you can delegate pressure on yourself.
That's right. So that's one of the key things that we talk about in our organization, high trust relationships. And again, my best friend Jeff and I, we've seen each other through life's journey, man, and it ain't always been pleasant. But that brother has been with me since day one, man. 5th grade band camp, and he's gone to the Marine Corps. I went to Howard, graduated, and doing my thing in life. He now lives in San Diego. And we've stayed lock, stock, and barrel, man, since day one. That is a high trust relationship. That is something that only comes around once in a lifetime.
Man, listen, there are a couple of those that I have had, in life, and some of them are unfortunately cyclical. Some of them are long lasting, but you go through 2 years of maybe not seeing each other, not talking. You talk, and it's like no time has ever passed because of that bond there. One question before we get ready to take a break and remind our brothers that they need to get health insurance and make sure they take care of their prostate and colon as well. Would you suggest that brothers literally sit down and write? What is a tool or exercise that a brother can incorporate to begin to see their value? Is it writing it down and looking at it? We're going to talk a little bit more about that trusting relationship, but that value piece is something that's a sticking point for me because there's so many there's so many efforts to devalue us. I think that may contribute to this being super strong, and then we won't be willing, one, to show our struggles, and two, to delegate because we think we got to do it all.
Right.
Back to my question: what is a tool or something a brother could do to action step? You're in this cognitive behavioral action or something to recognize the
Yeah,
value.
yeah. All of those are great suggestions, man. Journal, write it down.
Okay.
Once a week, get on the phone with a buddy and just brain dump, man.
Okay.
And
Okay. Yep.
you know that those things will help clear your
Ooh.
mental
Yes,
space.
sir.
It
Yes,
helps
sir.
clear your mental space, man. And that's healthy. That is healthy. That's healthy for us to do across the board.
Absolutely. And speaking of
So
health, thank you. That's a good segue to talk about why we need to keep ourselves
yes,
physically
sir.
healthy. Mental health
Absolutely.
is health, but we want to take care of our physical health as well. So we're going to take a break, folks, and we'll be back with you in just
Absolutely.
a couple of seconds. Speaking with Terry Hawkins in a unique space in this conversation around taking corporate, specifically real estate model and applying it toward healing. It's kind of dope, man. We'll be right back with you, everybody.
I'm a very sensitive person, and I feel the pain of my people. They know me, they call on me, and I assure them that I'm not a provider, but I am one who cares. I always say to them, well, it's better to know than not to know, because if you know, you can do something about it. Think about the loved ones around you. Think about the ones that love seeing you come through that door. Take the step and get tested. That's it.
Save lives and get screened for colon cancer. For more information, visit boston.gov/cancer.
For the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, independent workers who keep our neighborhoods thriving, Connector Care from the Massachusetts Health Connector has plans for every lifestyle and budget.
Having access to affordable healthcare is for everyone in our community.
Connector Care plans help more people save on healthcare that covers all their needs. Find out if you qualify for Connector Care. Visit mahealthconnector.org or call 1-877-MA-ENROLL.
Hey, folks, if you're just joining us, we are talking today with Terry Hawkins about a very unique approach toward healing. And I just want to shout out to folks, Queen Nick, a few others, Hannibal, Angelina, I believe I seen over on Angelina in the unit over on Instagram as well. And shout out to the folks on Twitter. We're talking about taking corporate, specifically real estate approaches and Brother Hawkins' experience, and he's working with the organization Dreamsmart Behavioral Solutions to support folks toward healing. On the first half, we got into the conversation about trust and value. So just to review, I asked, how do brothers get on a journey toward healing? And you mentioned valuing themselves, trusting relationships with other brothers. And I believe there was a third component as well. And all of that is based on looking at the value, looking at the risk, and then also being cautious. And the risk and caution we do well with. A little bit more on the value here. And then let's really talk about, how you've taken being part of the Q's and applying that.
Yeah. Well, as you know, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity is near and dear to my heart, and those are all the members. 4 cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And if we're living those, honestly, right? Nobody's perfect, but pouring into our communities, helping those who are less fortunate, always striving in manhood to be better the next day. Scholarship, seeking knowledge. Now, I'm not saying, everyone go out and get a PhD, master's, but knowledge, self-knowledge, always learning, always thriving. And then perseverance, man, persevering through life adversity. I can count, I don't have enough fingers and toes, man, to count the things I've had to persevere through. So many others who are listening, but that's one of the core principles. And then uplift, uplift your fellow man, your fellow black man, your fellow brown man. Also, that includes women, but in this space, we're talking about black and brown men. And I bring that up because when I was doing prison ministry so many years ago, I did prison ministry for 7 years, and the guys that were doing prison, that were locked up, they were doing 32 to life, and they would always say, I wish I had someone that I could talk to. I wish I had someone to talk me out of committing domestic violence, robbing a store, doing things that got me landed in prison. And I started to think, I said, okay, if they're 22 and they're facing this time, then we have to reach back to the ones that are 10. And so that's when the light bulb went off, and Dreamsmart Behavioral Solutions, we started working with youth that were 10. When we were working with the Harris County Juvenile Probation Office, the CUPS unit, to support youth and families, we had young men who were black and brown who were adjudicated youth at 10. I'm talking armed robbery. I'm talking attempted murder. At 10 years old, that was the youngest cat that I worked with, and up to 17. But we had one young lady, I'll never forget this. We had one young lady, she was 16, very promiscuous. She was sitting in the room with her grandmother. Both of her parents were not in the picture. Her grandmother was 78. And she turned to her I asked her the question. I said, would you ever do anything to break the heart of someone that loves you? She said, oh no, I would never do that. And so I looked at her. I said, then why are we sitting here? I said, you think your grandmother loves you? And the grandmother told her, I love you. That was the first time that young lady has ever heard someone say, I love you, in her life, from her 78-year-old grandmother. And when that happened, every parent in that room cried. I'll never forget that. That's when I knew that my work was impactful.
Yes, sir.
That's when I knew we were reaching these young people. Had a young man who, and unfortunately, he was on his journey of doing the work. He caught a double murder charge because he didn't want to drop dime. The streets, I'm not a snitch. He didn't want to drop dime, and he was innocent. I think he got like 16 years because he didn't want to tell on the person who really did it, who was a family member. And the mom, and I went to his sentencing, and the mom looked at me, and she said, what are we going to do? I said, you just have to pray for him now.
At this point,
we had an opportunity to get out of this. And I understand the loyalty of the streets. I understand that culture. I said, but what's the payoff? What's the value?
No compensation there.
What's the risk? What's the effort? And that's how you bring it all together. You can, and it was just so touching, man, to just see that that grandmother and her grandchild, and she was 16 and in so much trouble. And she reached out that day in front of people she never knew. That was a breaking point. And that's when I knew our work, had to go forward.
And impactful. You referenced to ministry and prison ministry. And I want to ask, we are going to get ready to wrap up in a few minutes. And if you can do me a favor while I'm talking, if in the private chat, you could put the website, or if there's, like an Instagram or Twitter where folks can follow you, but you have some architectural experience, you work in real estate, you went to seminary. How does all of that form and instruct you in your approach to leadership? And we haven't really used the word leadership, but if you do the healing, you do become at some point what's the word? You do become at some point a leader in the organization. And so we got our guest getting ready to come in a few minutes as well. And so just let us know as we get ready to wrap up your sort of value and your style to taking all of this together to form leaders.
I go back to what's my payoff? If I'm training someone and I value them, my efforts are going to be unbiased. My efforts are going to be to help them succeed at any cost, right?
Yeah.
The risk of not doing that is on me as a leader. Again, we're building high trust relationships. You know, the only way you can build a high trust relationship is you have to be vulnerable to the people that you meet you and say, hey, listen, I'm here to help you. I'm being transparent with you. Whatever you need from me, my door is open. People are not used to that. Most people in corporate America are used to getting beat down. But if we take those same principles and we apply it, the value in the person, the risk of helping them or not helping, the risk of not helping them is that they're not going to perform their job well, right? The effort that I have to put into it is the same effort they have to give me back. It's a trade-off. So I apply those principles across the board, and they work in any situation. In architecture, compensation, if I'm designing a building and I'm going after a job, compensation, what's my value that I bring to as a firm? What value do I bring to the project? What risks are associated with the project? Is it a new client? Is it a new customer? Is it a new type of building I'm designing? And then that effort, my team effort, the makeup of the team. We have special people that, you know, our talent pool of people that can perform the project. It goes across the board. You can apply this to any and everything in life.
I see those the transcending of like the values there, and it just, you know, I'm a little sobered by the 16-year-old is still in my mind and the 10-year-old, you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to push, you know, through that. But Brother Terry, I want to thank you for reminding us today the importance of, and I've shared with a couple of folks in the past few days, the importance of the mindset. Had a great conversation with a life coach yesterday, and we talked about the mindset, that how much it determines everything. And so I appreciate you. I want to let folks know where they can go to get more information. Like, so you are located where now?
I'm in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Now, is the program national? Can folks from this area sign up and take advantage? Are there virtual options?
Yes, virtual options. We are all online. Like I say, we are the only Black-owned behavioral wellness company in the nation. We're all online. You can sign up, take your BSP. Once you sign up, you can get a one-on-one coaching from our one of our founders, Jeff Morris, and you're off to a great perspective, because it's going to open your eyes up not only to life, but it's going to open your eyes up to who you really are, and it changes the dynamic of who you are as a person.
Thank you for that affirmation, because that was almost verbatim part of the conversation I had yesterday with the coach. So thank you. I almost said Coach Terry. Thank you for being with us this morning. Please keep in touch. Let us know. And if folks reach out, let us know too. If folks reach out from you being on today. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Folks, that was Brother Terry Hawkins from Dreamsmart Behavioral Solutions. And we're going to spend a few moments with the sister that I think a couple of months ago, we did a Java After Dark and chatted with her about her story. And you got to hear about her give back to community and the way that she gives back. And I hope you went and followed her is through this theme called Parties from Above. And so we're getting ready to bring her on real quick. She put your do not disturb on whatever, so folks don't so folks aren't hitting you up and you look like you're trying to hear them. Where your headphones?
I didn't know I needed them.
No, you good. I see you putting your head to the phone.
Because I can't hear nothing.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's my phone. I definitely should have got some headphones.
Okay, you're good. You looking wonderful. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm tired. I'm dealing with 40 kids right now in the fashion show.
And the fashion show is coming up tomorrow?
It's tomorrow from
Okay.
4 to 8 at the pavilion.
I'm going to post the flyer on the page later. But what, the Bank of America?
No. The small pavilion cultural arts. It's at City Hall.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. So at City Hall tomorrow at what time?
From 4 to 8 p.m.
From 4 to 8 p.m. And is it ticketed?
That was all they had open, but I really wanted to make this happen. So I just took it on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday on City Hall Plaza. I mean, that's wait a minute. You're going to have 40 kids down in City Hall.
More than that, a few teenage performers. My friend International Show is going to perform. Exit Fame is going to perform. 4-Star Dance Studio. They just won the competition across the U.S. The young ladies from Boston, they are a dope dance team. Right there on Blue Hill Ave, 4-Star. They made it to Argentina. They made it to the finals. So they're going to be performing. I have at first I made stipulations for the fashion show. I have teenage designers. Shout out to New Generation. And then there's these 6-year-old girls. They have a global awareness clothing line. Shout out to Summer Sky. So their clothes is going to be on the runway. The teenagers' clothes is going to be on the runway. A lot of Black independent designers. Different cloth. His clothing is going to be displayed. Who else? Push, promoting you, show and hustle. His clothing. Fear No Evil, which is international shows.
So
brand.
you got a whole bunch going on down there.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Is it ticketed or do folks just show up?
It's free for everybody.
It's free. Okay. Are you taking donations?
Absolutely, always. Because this was hard work between the permits and the stage. Thankfully, Josh Kraft donated he paid for the stage, thank goodness. And then, Julia Mejia, she donated. So I'm able to pay for the DJ and, a few people came together and definitely, Christopher Worrell, he donated.
Yeah. Shout out to brother Chris.
Yeah. Shout out to him because I had to do practices and I was feeding the babies at practice.
Okay. Yeah. As you should and have to.
So my friend Shanta, she's a hairstylist, but she has a rental space.
Since she was a little girl, the one that does the dreads.
Yeah,
we went to her.
She donated her space for the kids to practice.
I'm not surprised.
So we had about 40 kids every Wednesday faithfully, and then at first it was just an idea because I just feel like growing up we had a lot of fashion shows, rap shows for kids. Yep. We don't really have it like that in the urban community like that, So at first it was like 10 kids. Then I was like, okay, I can deal with 10 kids. That's not bad.
Then the word
next week it was like 25 kids, and I was like, oh, that escalated quickly. And then it was like 40 kids, and some of the kids was crying like, I don't want to go home. Like, can we stay with? They call me Auntie Coach, Auntie
Coach. Sheik, what does it mean to have, these young people call you Auntie Coach, Auntie Sheik, and they're committed over the summer? They could be doing other things. I'm presuming you maybe rehearse once a week. What does it mean to have that support from community, from, Council Mejia, and you got all these artists coming together, Exit Fame, Roy, I'm sure you got, let's shout out our good brother. Did you get Antsy everything he needs to get printed?
Huh?
Did you get Antsy everything he needs to get printed?
Oh yeah, Antsy donated some the flyers.
Yeah, but did you get everything? Because we joked about going to him at last minute. Did you get everything to him?
Oh yeah. I know. Look, listen. This is what I do for Antsy. I tell Antsy if it's due on a Saturday, I tell him, yo, I need it by Monday.
I'm going to clip this and send this to him. I think we talked about him on the After Dark show too. Shout out to that Black-owned business. I've been printing with him since 2010. That's my
that's the only person printer I go to for my print.
Yeah. That's my only printer. So, Sheik, tomorrow, 4:00, City Hall Plaza. Tell me the name of the event again.
It's the Back to School Kids Fashion Show.
Back to School Kids Fashion Show. It is free, everybody. Tomorrow, City Hall. Go down, take the young people. If you work in the area, if you get off at 4:30, go through. It's over at 8:00. Get somebody to bring the kids down and meet you down there. And are you having food trucks or anything?
They was giving me such a hard time with all of that. I just dubbed it, but we getting pizza because that was the easiest thing. Okay. My friend is coming through with the ice cream truck. Hopefully she handled all of that, which she needed to handle. But
with the permits and you're right down there. You're in permit hell, right down there at City Hall.
I am in permit hell.
No shade.
It's too much.
Okay. But nope, I'm not gonna go there. Okay. So Sheik, I love you. I appreciate you. I apologize I'm on vacation month and we wanted to collaborate and come and be more supportive, but tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm going to do my best to hold on. Because before I say anything and you call me out, 4 to 8. Okay.
You should come and
talk. I'm not going to show my face.
You gotta come.
I'm not messing with you. I'm gonna come. What? I'm going to come before I stop making commitments.
I can't wait for you to meet little diva Yaya because I had a restriction on the age and it was supposed to be 6 to 16. This little 3-year-old came in.
She walks.
What? And was crying one day and said, "You don't never have a stage here." I said, "But I'm going to have a stage at City Hall at the show." She, because I need the real stage.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Did you get anything out to me? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but did you get the word out to mainstream media so they can come and cover this?
I mean, I was trying to, but I didn't really know exactly how. I did reach out to Channel 7 and hopefully they can come, but they said there's no promises, so I'm not really sure.
I'm not them. But I'm going to do my best to get down there. And if it's okay, if the parents are there because they're under 18, if I could interview, a couple of the young people just to, mic and whatnot.
No. So I was looking for someone to do like a cute little red carpet. I got a red carpet if you need it, but a cute little red carpet. My babies, I'm telling you, they are ready. Like even the young men, like everyone is just ready. Like they can't wait. And Well Adapted donated sneakers to the young men.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to buy some kids sneakers and little girls, women, we can throw on some $12, but for the young men, they're like, their sneakers is too much. So he donated a lot of sneakers to the young men that's going to be in the fashion show.
And that's the same brother you shouted out before that. Okay. So shout out to everybody that's supporting Sheik tomorrow. It's the Back to School Fashion Show.
Yep.
And it's tomorrow at 4:00, City Hall Plaza. Please go and support this young lady and especially the young people. She does great work for young people whose parents have transitioned and to give them birthday parties and celebrations on their behalf, though they're not here. And if you follow her, Sheik, what's your Parties from Above on Instagram, right? All one
Parties
word?
from _above.
Hold on. Parties from, we do this in real time. So go to Instagram and you can follow her at Parties from _above. And I see you on there. I see the parties. I see everything you're doing. You set up something the other day it wasn't a Parties from Above event. It was some other event. You did the entrance or the something. I seen it. I can't remember what it was.
What was it? The Pride?
With Curtis and them for the health
Black Pride thing? With the colorful balloons.
Yeah. Yep.
There's that. Yeah, people are starting to actually hire me. So thank you all that have been supporting.
Well, you don't just do Parties from Above. You also do balloon decorating and setup and decor and all that as well.
Yeah, I just got into that because I had to get confident enough to, for people to be high. You know, when folks start paying for stuff, they be like, hold on, that little balloons to the left, or you know, so.
She get off of here before we get in trouble. Sis, I love you and appreciate you. I will be down there at some point tomorrow to support you and these young people. I'll be down there. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, ma'am. And thank you for
can you be there at 2:30 or 3?
It's the jeez. I have a 2 o'clock. That's over at 2:30.
Okay, you can come whenever you want.
Look. Let me call and reserve my parking space.
No.
And I'll be down there. So I'll be down there tomorrow as soon as I can.
All right.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Whenever
no later than 4 o'clock.
Dope.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. Sis. Love you much.
Bye.
All right, folks. So you heard about it here. Go down to City Hall tomorrow at 4 p.m. and support the back to school fashion show that Parties from Above is doing. Belinda, it is let me see if I can DM her on Instagram at Parties from Above, and she'll send you. I think, did we do Cash App when she was on for After Dark? I don't remember. But Alexa didn't do her thing today. We're getting better, y'all. It's 9:50. We're getting off of here. UCB members, you all get an hour today. Also, want to let UCB members know that Eric is coming on, the co-founder or founder and executive director of Urban Capital Boston. He's going to be with us in the next couple of weeks. So look out for that. You know, when Eric comes on, he gives you all some little bonus points for UCB members. So make sure you look out for that flyer to come out. Also want to let you know that this Thursday night, we want to remind you that and I heard that there's a little buzz about this. We didn't do a registration, so I don't know who's coming. But we want to remind you that this Thursday evening at 6 p.m. at 135 Morrissey Boulevard, we are doing our second recording of Black Java, No Sugar, No Cream. We're speaking with Mike Dees, Miss Mo Filler, Taylor Andre, and also Dart Adams. We're going to talk about collaborations, culture, Black excellence, Black education. We're going to talk about the election. We're going to talk about women in leadership, women in politics, all of this Black Java, No Sugar, No Cream. So that's taking place on this Thursday at 6 p.m. It is free. We will have an open bar. There will be some appetizers available for the networking portion and some music as well. I might even DJ. No, that's going to take place again this Thursday night at 6 p.m. So please make sure you plan to come and be a part of that. That is something that we've always been intentional about in this space, but with the canceling of WGBH's Basic Black, got a few phone calls and said, Jimmy, and it's funny because I have one person in mind when I'm referring to the phone call, so I'm going to try not to do their voice. Queen Nick over on Instagram said just a little, we got a little caramel, no sugar, no cream, just you can put some flavor in there. But got a phone call and they were like, Jimmy, you're poised to kind of help fill that gap. So get to moving. So we did our first one in June. We have our second one coming up on this Thursday night. September 19th is the next one. It's basically, Black Java is going to be every third Thursday of the month for right now. I can tell you all now to hold the third Thursday in December because that is going to be a Java Christmas. Remember last year at the station I used to be on, we did the Christmas show. And so this year we're going to do it somewhere else and we're going to have a few more performers and it's going to be a great time of holiday celebration, Christmas celebration. I personally celebrate Christmas. And so Kwanzaa as well. And we'll acknowledge the other cultural holidays around that time of year as well. But we're having our Black Java every third Thursday. November, we'll let you know what that theme is. October, I've already got a couple of folks lined up. We're going to feature, one of the segments is going to feature Boston's Own. We have a young man that has danced with Usher, Christopher Brown. We have one of Boston's up and coming most popular artists that will be with us. I'm saving that information for later, but confirmed them last night. And so we're really putting in a lot of effort into the platform. Speaking of that, don't forget, starting on September 16th, Monday, September 16th, Java with Jimmy will start The Java Cafe will open at 10 a.m. No longer 9 a.m., 10 a.m. every Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Okay. Once in a while, I might pop on at 9 because I'm just for four and a half years. I'm just everything about me is just 9 o'clock. So it's going to take me a little while to get used to that. I also want to let you know, unless we have folks lined up already, I may take my birthday week off, which is September 9th through 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. September 9th through 13th. And we'll keep you abreast about that. All right. That's it for me, everyone. Please plan to come through on Thursday evening. Tomorrow morning, we have the opportunity. We are going to speak with the Massachusetts Democratic Party's chair, Mr. Steve Kerrigan. He, Anthony, and others are on their way out. Michelle Wu, Mayor Wu, and others are on their way out to Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. We are planning some programming for you that you will be able to see what's going on at the convention. We will have a correspondent out there to cover the Democratic National Convention. And so some interviews with some locals and also some folks from across the country that are working to get our Kamala Harris elected. So with that being said, I'm getting what? My pops is on the phone. I call him father. Shout out to John Gibson. I think I'm behaving. I think. All right. I'm getting off of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Steve Kerrigan. And also, don't forget Thursday night, 6 p.m. over at 135 Morrissey Boulevard. We are having our next recording of, and this will, I said last time that we weren't going to go live, and I wound up going live. We're not going live. This is going to be very different. So if you want to see the conversation, we will eventually broadcast it, edited, all that wonderful stuff. If you want to hear the conversation in real time, you need to be there on Thursday night at 6 p.m. For those that can't make it, I'm not stressing our mother's board and our seniors. Y'all know I don't ask y'all to do everything. But for folks that are coming, you'll be able to be in the conversation in real time. And I may, come off the chair and go out and ask the audience some questions or ask if the audience has some questions. All right. Be with us on Thursday. Oh, God, y'all got a whole lot of comments in here. Let me make sure I got everything. Oh, Miami's coming, Belinda. There's another trip coming. Miss Teresa, thank you. I will. Christopher Brown. Christopher Brown, I don't know how that's old. He's still very much relevant. And Black Java, no sugar, no cream. Miss Teresa, thank you for Doc. It is good to see you in the room. You all please keep Dr. Shalair in your prayers. There's a bunch of stuff going on. I know. I didn't make it to the vineyard this year. Another year of not being on the vineyard, but I'm going to make it out there. But you all please keep her in prayer and cover. That was her king that was taken from us a few weeks ago. And so please keep her and Sister Satara in prayer, who's a part of the Java family as well. Keep that family in prayer. And Doc, if you're still on, I can't remember. Cousins is the other name. So the Armstrongs and the Cousins, my brother Cleon, who is her partner that I used to go to high school with. Please keep them in prayer and keep them encouraged. And it's good to see you in the room. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. as we chat with the local head of the state Democratic Party. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. UCB, y'all ain't slick. See y'all later.